Looking to infuse your PTO with even more organization, but you're at a loss on like how long to keep records and what to do with all of the paperwork that your PTO or PTA has accumulated through the years. So that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video. And if we have not yet met, I am Christina Heideck. I am the founder of PTO Answers, and by day, I am both a PTO volunteer leader as well as a professional organizer. So I know a thing or two about organizing paperwork. I'm also a recovering attorney. So I've dealt with reams and forests worth of paper in my lifetime. So I am here to share some handy paper organization tips for your group so that you don't feel inundated by the piles anymore. In addition to the paper piles, we're going to be talking about digital documents as well, because of course we are all moving to a digital paperless age. Still going to be a lot of opportunities and reasons to use paper, but certainly we have more digital clutter in our lives as well and in our PTOs. So getting a handle on that is super helpful. So the very first way to start tackling the digital clutter and digital records in your PTO's life is to get a mailbox. So you're going to want to get a physical mailbox at school. Maybe it's just a cubby in the main office along, like next to all of the staff mailboxes. So get a designated place for PTO mail to land. You might also want, and this is especially helpful for lower elementary school PTOs where volunteers are coming in and out of the building and where things need to trade hands, is to get a mailbox. So it could be like a file box, like a plastic handled file box that you can use. That's what my lower elementary school used. And it was very handy because it stayed in the school office. There was a designated place so that if you had, just save the running around, because if someone needed a check, it would just be in the treasurer's folder in that physical file mailbox thing. So we had a place for mail to go that was next to all of the staff cubbies. And then we additionally had this one little file box. It was nice and contained and stayed out of the way. So the staff really didn't complain about it. The office secretary, administrative assistant did not care. Everyone knew where it was, and it was just super helpful. So get one of those if you have not. It'll just make life so much easier because there will be a designated place for everything, and it'll save you a lot of running around so that you're not running to each other's homes, because most people are at school a couple times a day to at least drop off and pick up their kids if they're not taking the bus. The next thing that you can do to organize all of the PTO paperwork is to create procedure books for each of your volunteer roles. So like the president should have an officer binder. The room parent should have a room parent binder. Like get binders set up for everybody, even if it's just like a half-inch thick binder, just some place for all of your documents to go, so everyone should have a copy of your bylaws and standing rules, and then any other specific particulars for like how the specific role should operate. Just having everything in one place will really make your life easier. And when it comes time to hand things off to the incoming officer, you have something designated to give them. If you are unsure about how to create a procedure book, or if you want a done for you option, then I have printable versions all available in the success kit. So if there are specific success kits for each officer in role in your PTO or PTA, and then I've bundled them all up into the success kit for PTOs and PTAs. So it has it's just a combination of all of the individual kits all rolled up into one, along with some additional resources there that I think every group should have. So go ahead and check that out. I have dropped a link to that resource for you to look at in the description below. The next tip for organizing your PTO records is to keep track of how long you actually need to keep things. So with few exceptions, documents do not need to be kept forever. And in fact, you can digitize some of the records. So if you have old tax returns for your PTO, you don't actually need to hang on to the physical copies of those. You can just quickly scan them in and put them in your group's cloud storage, like your Google Drive. Keep track of how long you need to keep things for. It's in most cases, it's not going to be for forever. Your group's organizational documents, like how you got your 501c3, and if you filed to be an LLC or otherwise incorporated, then you're going to want to keep those documents, of course, forever. And I would recommend keeping a hard copy as well as a digital copy, just in case something happens to the originals. You'll have a digital backup. You'd be surprised how often things are lost because people just tend to lose things especially if they're not organized, or if they're not particularly committed to the group and they don't treat it with the care that the documentation actually deserves to have. So I have specific recommendations on how long you need to keep paperwork in the companion blog post for this video. I have dropped a link to that in the description below, so make sure to check that out because it gives specific recommendations for meeting minutes, tax returns, like all of the treasurer paperwork, as well as flyers that you create for programs and like anything that's all listed out there below. So check out that resource. The next suggestion for getting your life as a PTO leader organized, and specifically your records, is to get a permanent email address. So instead of relying on individual people's their personal emails, so instead of my personal email, I use an officer email so that when it comes time to transition, I'm not forwarding emails out of my personal email so much, because most people use the position or my president email that I have for the high school PTO that I'm running this year, or in charge of, leading. Not really, you know what I mean. So anyway, everything's coming through that one address and it's not going to my personal stuff. So when it comes time for the handover, I can just give the password to the incoming president, and it's just easy peasy. And then it saves the runaround of having to update everybody in the whole wide world of who the new contact person is. It's hard for people to keep up. Especially at the school, not everybody understands our schedule of when new officers are coming in. And so it just avoids information being lost in the shuffle if it's all going to one designated place. Along those same lines, get your group to centralize their cloud storage into one place. So if you're going to use Google Drive, then use it. Make sure everyone has access. Encourage people to upload things. As a president, you should be following up with the officers and saying, hey, upload that document. Hey, secretary, make sure that the meeting minutes, it's great that you have a hard copy, but also put your digital copy in the cloud storage, and remind people to do it on a monthly basis, so that at the end of the year, they're not stuck not doing it or running out of time, because you know how crazy the end of the year is. So get remove one thing from the to-do list by having them do it every month, and that way it won't seem like so much. Before we go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one tip that you absolutely love from this video, and one thing that you think that your group or that you personally will implement right away? I know it's just an opportunity to improve as a leader and make things run more smoothly for your group. I'm excited to hear from you about what you're looking to improve in your group and what action takeaway that you have from this video. And I do hope that you'll join me for the next video. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All of these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.